Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing good and I hope you guys are doing well. I have not been creating content. I have been so busy. I've received a lot of messages from you guys and you guys are like, how are you? Like, how is everything in America? What is it like being a British babe in America? So you know what, let's talk about it. So first off guys, I have been super busy. My job has been really busy. I also had an exam which sadly I didn't pass, but I'm going to be retaking it this year. Obviously I moved into my apartment, so that was like the last video that you guys saw. Like I literally moved in with clothes and trainers. I had nothing, so I had to like order everything from scratch, and I don't think I realized that I was starting my life from scratch. Yeah, let's talk about it. So I obviously moved here for work, for a job, but I also moved here like on a personal level. There were a lot of different things that happened, I'd say, like just over the years. And I think in 2020, I just kind of made the decision that actually I need something different. Like I need to change my environment. And at the time, like I didn't know what that different was. But I prayed about it. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm a Christian, and I prayed about it. I spoke to God and I was like, look, I need a change. In that moment, it was like I knew that it was time to completely change my environment. So I carried on praying about it, like spoke to a few of my friends, and that's something that I would say is that, you know, if you are going to make a big transition in your life like this, get counsel, speak to your friends. Like, especially, you know, if you're a Christian, pray with your friends, fast with your friends. Like, sometimes you can think that you're being led to do something, but it may not be that. So what I found was that actually sharing it with my friends and having them question me and be like, okay, but why are you doing this? And, you know, like, what do you believe God is saying? And let's pray about this, let's fast about this, and let's make sure that you're making the right choice. And then speaking to my pastor as well, speaking to him about my plans and what I desire to do so he could also pray. I'm not saying like go out here and tell your dreams to everybody. There was a select number of people who I told about my desires and dreams and what I believe God had laid on my heart about moving. So I would say like don't share your dreams with everybody, but it is good to have like an element of accountability and just allow people to challenge you, question you, like get certain things out of you so you can be sure as well that you're making the right choice. And then when I started at my new job, I had the opportunity. It was like, okay, now I work for this company. They have offices literally everywhere. I now have the opportunity to make this move. And so I spoke to my manager about it, and obviously I have a video about the whole visa process. But I spoke to them and I just told them, and I was like, look, like I've lived here my entire life and I am so ready for a change. Are you guys able to help me? Are you guys able to support that? And thankfully they were, which is why I'm now here. I think one of the things that people like don't tell you about moving country, or even sometimes like entering into like an entirely new season, is that there is going to be a period or a season or feelings of grief and loss. And I definitely felt that when I got here. Like, even though I knew I'd made the right decision, like, and I still know that I've made the right decision, I have complete peace about moving here. In that adjusting and in that transition process, there has been an overwhelming sense of grief and loss. I felt like there was more that I wanted to have happened in London, but ultimately I believe that it's going to happen here. But I say that to say that I also had to grieve my own plans. I also had to grieve the fact that things hadn't gone the way that I thought they were going to go. Now don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm so happy to be here, and I believe that this is God's plan for my life, for me to be here, and I have like complete peace about that. However, embracing the new and embracing the plan that God has for my life, it meant that I also was grieving the plans that I had for my life. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to. So yeah, like I got here and I was so excited, and I was like, I'm here, like I can't. First of all, it was almost like feelings of, I can't believe I've done it. Like I've actually moved 4,000 miles away. Oh my gosh, I've done it. So there was an element of that. There was also excitement because I was like starting a new job, and like there was an opportunity to meet new people. But then there was also an overwhelming sadness or feelings of loss and grief. So I cried a lot. I'd say when I moved here, I probably cried every day for about a month. And there were times where I thought about going home, but I knew that I had to ride it out. Like, I knew I had to ride out those feelings of uncomfortability. And I think one of the things that, even in my job, because it's like, even though it says I'm doing the same kind of role, it's obviously for different clients. It's for the US market as opposed to the UK market, which is obviously different, has different challenges. But someone said something to me at work, actually. They said, like, you're just gonna have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm now beginning to apply that to like all the areas of my life, including living here. Like, there has been times when it just feels uncomfortable. Like, I'm so out of my comfort zone. Like, and I guess we can kind of move on to talking about that. Like, living in the South, there is nothing similar to London. There is nothing similar to the UK. So, and I knew that when I moved here, but I don't think I knew it, but I don't think I really deeped it, if that makes sense. It's like, you know, you can know something, but you don't necessarily deep it until you're in that environment. For example, the diversity. There's still like a sense of separation between, well, especially between white people and black people. So what I find is that there are certain areas where it's like, okay, this is a predominantly white area, this is a predominantly African-American area. But I understand, I know the history. Thankfully, you know, my mum, growing up, my mum taught me a lot about American history. Like, I read a lot of books, like in my early teens, about American history. So I was very aware of the history, but I think being aware of the history but then actually moving here, it's just been like a massive culture shock. So growing up in London, I'm used to being around loads of different people. I'm used to diversity. So moving here and seeing that there's like a segregation, and again, I don't mean segregation like whites can't, like blacks can't eat here, whites, like it's not like that, but it's almost like an unspoken segregation. You know, the next thing, I wasn't expecting people to be so interested in my accent. I think that has been really funny. As soon as I speak, people are like, oh, because they see me and they think I'm African American. And then obviously I speak and they're like, oh, like, okay. Especially the black people. The black people here are just so taken aback by my accent. It honestly is so funny. And they'll be like, oh, they'll be like, where are you from? Where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from England. They're like, oh, they're just so shocked. What else? America is huge, okay? Like, America is huge. I don't think us Englanders or UK people have an appreciation for how big America actually is. Also, what's crazy to me is that you can travel domestically on your driver's license. So guys, I got my driver's license. I was meant to tell you that to you guys. So I got my driver's license, which is so exciting. I literally had to do lessons like I was 17 again. I got my new car. It's a really cute SUV. I really like it. Yeah, what else is different? Things are so expensive here, like so expensive. Like, I spend, like, on groceries for myself, on average, I spend between like $90 to $120 a week on groceries, which is crazy. I mean, I know obviously there's a cost of living crisis in England, so y'all may come for me on that. But when I was in England, roughly on average, I'd probably spend around £40 a week, maybe 50 for myself. Obviously I don't have a family, so for myself. Whereas here it's like, yeah, like I literally spend like up to $120 a week, and that's just on getting things like fruit and vegetables and meat and just general things. In terms of healthcare, so I've been asked that question. So I have healthcare through work, which is an incredible blessing. And the option that I've chose is kind of like a copay. So I pay for some, and then my healthcare provider will pay for the rest. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what else. I think that's about it. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything that you're like, you really want to know about America. Overall, I'd say that I really like it here. I can afford to live here. Like in London, and again, I'm sure you guys will know, like it was getting to the point where I just couldn't afford to live there anymore. I think, of course, America has its issues, which we're not going to go into on this video. But I think generally speaking, for me, this is somewhere that I think is a lot better for me. Just even health-wise, like I'm an asthmatic, and without fail, every winter, I usually end up in hospital, like struggling with my asthma. This year, nothing. My skin has cleared up. My edges are growing back, okay? Like, I think things are just agreeing with me a lot better here than they were in London. Of course, like I mentioned, it has been hard to move. I miss my friends, I miss my family, like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, but I just think overall my well-being and my life generally is a lot better here than it was in London. So yeah guys, that is an update on how I'm finding things here. There is still a lot to update you on, there's still a lot to talk to you guys about, but I'm gonna have to come back in another video. I really want to try and do some more vlogs. If I'm honest with you guys, I actually did do a vlog, but I just haven't sat down and edited it, so I actually need to do that at some point. But yeah. Okay guys, well thank you as always for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you like my video, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon.